Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Sunday, May 13th, 11:20 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at Fissure 18 erupting in spectacular fashion in the Leilani Estates, north and east of the original fractures. Fracture 17 is re-erupting just minutes ago to the right of this screen, which is suggesting that major pressure is building and that Fissure 18 cannot hold the pressure, and this lava is backing back down the rift zone and now is erupting back out at 17. The explosions have been heard for the past 24 hours and seismic uptick is on the increase. Now, this means that as the lava lake continues to drop, that groundwater is going to be entering that particular caldera zone as the lake falls below 900 feet, which is happening right now. So this lava lake is now dropping. The amount of lava that needs to come out is too much, and it is now backing up the rift zone, and there is massive activity on Fissure 18, and now new activity on 17 happening live just moments ago. We're going to get to this in a moment. Let's get on with the update. Exciting times. Greeley, Evans hit by hail, torrential rainfall Sunday. A fast-moving storm just hours ago dropped nickel-sized hail and torrential rain in Greeley and Evans on Sunday. This is in Colorado. Surrounding Weld County areas were in the path of the storm as well. The National Weather Service has issued an advisory shortly before the storm hit Greeley at 7:10 p.m. The storm moved northeast through the town at 40 miles per hour. Officials confirmed the hail size and there were no immediate damage reports, but there are more hail and more damage due to flooding. Aerial footage of flooding in the Helena Valley. This is in Montana and it is epic. We'll do a quick flyby here. Gorgeous visuals. Let's just get to the flooding. You can see the main road here, the main highway, and this is just saturated fields. No plows in the fields. Notice. And this is saturated farmland, folks. Miles and miles of it. I'll leave you links to that. Let's check the Weather Ready Nation map. Severe thunderstorms from the plains to the mid-Atlantic. Fire weather in the southwest. That's that little pink. Here's the flooding. We just looked at it. Here's the fire weather. Winds died down today. I got 10 trees planted. Farmers across the high plains, though, didn't plant anything. They're bracing for hard times as drought bears down. Drought could affect everything from cotton to cattle to farming equipment to prices in the supermarket to global unrest. This is coming from Texas, the time of the year Sean Holiday usually sitting atop a tractor laying cotton seeds in rows of red soil on his farm. Fortunately, they're not planting. Less than 2 inches of rain have fallen. 10 is typical. And the fields are bone dry and there is no reprieve in the future. BC town swamped by historic floods, bracing for more record floods because of the snow in the mountains. Uncertainty in Osoyoos as melting snow threatens more flooding. Same place. Ducks and fish swam through BC streets on Sunday where children would normally play as residents wrestled with uncertainty about the waters. They are going to rise again, folks. Heavy May snowfall surprises the South Massif Central. This is in France. They're surprised. Well, we're not. In some places, over 12 centimeters of snow have fallen, especially at high altitudes, over 1,400 meters and higher. Even at over 900 meters, over 4 centimeters have been recorded. This is in Central France, not up here in the Alps. But the Alps are getting inundated with up to a meter of snow. We're going to check the GFS model in a minute. It's continuing to snow today, with Météo France suggesting up to 50 centimeters could settle in areas higher than 1,000 meters. This is a foot and a half of snow mid-May. Drivers and residents in the area are warned to be vigilant. Nothing like this should be happening in Al Gore's global warming world. But we'll quick check the GFS models. Look at the snow in the Alps. May 16th. We're talking over a half a meter. And this is the area in question in Central France. Getting snow. Here's snow on the Spain border and a little bit up here in where we would expect up in Scandinavia, but not down here in southern France in May. So I'm just showing you the models. And we predicted this. Snows into late May. Now let's talk about the major flooding that just happened south of the border. Schools, universities of Tasmania reopened after the record floods. Look at that. In the hallways. 2 feet high. That is the first boom of the day. Columbia bridge collapse. Major flooding after tunnel opens. They're about to open a second tunnel. A spokesman warned that the volume of the Cauca River could further increase as a result of an opening of an additional tunnel, which is currently leaking. Now, this is bad news for this footbridge, the only way to get across, and some of these regions will be cut off in perpetuity until the floodwaters recede and they can boat across. This is bad news, and this is infrastructure, global infrastructure failing as we report on it. Similar to Puerto Rico with no electricity. Now, more flooding is destroying SH-150 worth of wheat in Nordock. This is in Africa. Heavy rains currently being experienced in the country have turned out to be a curse rather than a blessing. What they thought was going to be the greatest wheat season ever is now being destroyed before their very eyes, thanks to the grand solar minimum. Parts of Finnish Lapland braced for the worst spring floods in 20 years because of the uptick in the grand solar minimum. Atmospheric compression, cosmic ray increase leading to record snowfalls, record ice pack, and now record flooding. Just like we are reporting on everywhere in the northern hemisphere. The Finnish Lapland is likely to see extensive spring flooding in the coming days as warm temperatures and intermittent rains set spring thaws in motion. The Finnish Environment Institute's leading hydrologist Bertel says that the current data points to the worst flooding in 2 decades. And we're going to watch this unfurl comparable to the largest floods in 73 and 93. The cities of Tornio and Kitala also expected with extensive water damage. So we'll be watching this. The flood waters are rising. So that's a heads up. There's plenty of time to prepare and get out. Seismic update. We have a worldwide uptick in moderate earthquakes. Oklahoma is kicking off because of the fracking nonsense. We have moderate uptick in the San Andreas, still in Octillo Wells. Look for a major quake happening there in the near future. We have a 3.2 in Carlin, Nevada. Massive cluster here in Tonga, including the one we reported on last night, 5.6. 5.2 in the Philippines. A 5.0 back over here in India. We have a 5.1 on the mid-ocean ridge. Another, there, bro, heads up, Brooklyn. Unfortunately, it's New Zealand. And we have a second 4.5 in Mayotte next to that massive volcano. Second in 24 hours. That's a heads up. 4.6 in Chile just popping off. Let's get back to the footage. It's epic. Now this is Fissure 18. These people are risking their lives covering this, and they're burning their lungs. Now luckily they're in the right position because all of the VOG and the sulfur dioxide is moving to the south and to the west of them, and they're just northeast of this fissure. And there have been ballistic explosions all day in this region. Why anyone wants to get back here to stay is unbeknownst to me, but this is what would occur right before a major phreatic explosion at the Kilauea caldera. What's happening as the lava lake completely evacuates the main caldera area and falls below that groundwater level, it is pressing away into the lava tubes, which are cracking open at the rift zone. Here's a small explosion. If you come over to Volcano YT, you can see this footage and hear the booms happening repeatedly. It is absolutely insane. Now, what's happening right now live is the lava is moving to the north and east right near that geothermal plant. Thankfully, they got the pentane out, so there will be no more big booms other than the ones caused by Mother Nature, which we're waiting on the biggest boom, which is going to come from the Kilauea caldera in the form of a phreatic eruption in the next 48 to 72 hours. That's the predicted time to get out, when the large boulders will be ejected from the main shaft, which is now 900 feet devoid. It's the big air rocket. It's a huge potato cannon, which is going to chuck out all those boulders that have fallen down there in the fashion of Old Faithful, only in a much larger scale. Picture Old Faithful times 10,000. That's what we're going to see in the phreatic eruption at Kilauea, repeating the 1925 activity. Get your fingers out of the way. Okay, so come check that out. More to talk about. Kilauea volcano, up to 18 fissures so far. State of emergency declared. We're looking at it now live. Just moments ago, 3 new fissures have opened up in the last 24 hours after a moderate downtick in activity is now an uptick, and it's leading to the phreatic eruption, which is imminent in the days to come. 3 new fissures have opened up in Kilauea's ongoing Eastern Rift eruption, bringing the total number to 18. Spattering is noted. Now there's heavy eruptive explosive lava jets on 20 to 30 foot high lava domes, and it is backing up towards fissure 17, and the eruptive activity is increasing live as we're making the video. So there's a massive uptick in the lava flow in the rift zone. So there should be major lava flows occurring by morning, and we'll be covering them. It's very close to the Punta geothermal plant, which we just talked about. I'll leave you links to the volcano discovery, which they're not caught up there. Close encounter asteroid as big as a football field about to whiz by Earth this week. An asteroid the size of a football field will have a close brush with Earth on Tuesday, coming between the moon and Earth. This is a heads up. This is a gigantic asteroid known as 2010 WC9. First spotted in 2010, was monitored until December of that year when it became faint. On May 8th, astronomers spotted it again and gave it a new name before realizing it was the same gigantic rock. Now, this asteroid measures between 197 and 500 feet and is traveling at 30,000 miles per hour. The flyby is expected to happen at 3:05 p.m. Pacific, the closest approach of this particular asteroid in the last 300 years. Heads up. And that's a boom. Hopefully not a boom on the planet. Now, this D-bag loses sleep over climate change. Warmist meteorologist Eric Holthaus admits to soul-crushing despair. I confess I need help. Yes, he does. You have to read this. I'm saying this because I know how many people feel deep despair about climate, especially post-election. Oh gosh, if only Hillary Clinton got in office, the whole planet would cool down and we would all be safe. Do these people even listen to themselves? Climate activist meteorologist Eric Holthaus should be in an insane asylum, as well as many other people that believe in anthropogenic global warming. There is absolutely no scientific evidence that man can create any weather on the planet. In fact, there is absolutely no change in the last, let's say, 100,000 years of repetitive climate cycles, and you're looking at the last 15,000 years. If CO2 causes temperature to rise, then how come for the last 11,000 years CO2 has been rising while temperature has been dropping? You can clearly see in this high-resolution ice core data that temperature is a cyclic climate cycle. So climate is a cyclic pattern with peaks and valleys that repeat in a multi-centennial fashion. You can see every 1,000 years there are 1, 2, 3, 4 major blips. 1, 2, 3, 4 major blips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4 major blips every 1,000 years. These are the grand solar minima and maxima that we've been screaming about. Let's look at the GISP predicted and the grand solar minima and maxima we're talking about. You are here. We're dropping off. On all of these downswings, major volcanic activity causes quick cooling on the planet and the destruction of the empire. The slavery model is destroyed. The banking system is crushed. The credit evaporates. So quick, get all the loans you need because it's about to end. And that is the best information I could ever give you. Infinitum. Boom! Thank you, Denzel. And that's a heads up. This guy, I mean, come read this and your mind will be blown. Find someone, anyone to talk to. If you're struggling, say so. If you're hopeful, say so. If you haven't checked the science, please lock yourself up. Earthquake study satellite up and running, says scientists. This is the China's first satellite for earthquake study, has been operating smoothly in its first 3 months. They said at a symposium to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Sichuan earthquake. Now, the seismo-electromagnetic satellite and sun-synchronous orbit at 500 kilometers above Earth will analyze data on worldwide earthquakes at a magnitude higher than 7 and Chinese quakes above 6. The data will be shared with the world to maximize its scientific value. Do you hear that, Dutch sense? Zhao told the symposia that the southwest China city of Chengdu, capital of the Sichuan province. Now, this satellite marks China's first space-based exploratory efforts and a big thumbs up and heads up to earthquake predictive. So, earthquake predictions will be better in the future. Go over to quakewatch.net and get involved in predicting scientifically major quakes based on blot echo data and earth spots. Good stuff going over there. Now let's talk about a guest column, earthquake preparedness. I know a lot of you people do not have the finances to move away from the fault zones that you moved to. But unfortunately, I'm sure you did your own homework and you decided to live there based on a number of reasons which are completely incomprehensible to me. Now, if you want to know how to survive during the earthquake that will happen in your lifetime by the fault that you live on, this is practical information that you should know, like shutting off your gas, having a bug-out bag, having a plan, meeting a group, and other things. If you don't know these basic things, then you are not prepared to survive in the future, because we're talking about geologic cataclysms, the likes of which we have not seen for millennia. Millennia. If you've read the Bible and you've read the prophecies, you know what's coming. It is not the quiet, happy days of yore. The STHF event is coming. It's coming. It might be a major solar flare we're overdue for, a Carrington event. It could be global unrest that spreads because of a small event. But you need to be preparing for the future that is not the past. And if history is a guide, the powers that be are warning you that CO2 causes temperature to rise. Here is 11,000 years of data. CO2 rising, temperature dropping. But you can clearly see that temperature goes up and down in epic fashion, several degrees C, again and 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 again ad infinitum. Man has been alive this whole time. We've been burning all kinds of things. The Minoans burned everything. The Romans burned more things. The temperature dropped every time and destroyed the civilizations that existed. This time is no different. You may eat your neighbor if you're not prepared. And that is not a joke. That's the truth. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing. Share this with like-minded people. Don't be scared. Be prepared. If you don't know what we're talking about and you just got onto the channel, there's 520 other videos that I've been redundant talking about all of the scientific evidence that I have uncovered over the last 3 decades. That's how long my search has been, since 1989. You're not alone. You're in good company. Be safe, everyone.